Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Pro Wrestling World Talks with Dan and Mac.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to PWW Talks. I am your host, Daniel Burke, this evening, and I am joined
by the Undertaker.
Yes. And, of course, my best friend for over 20 years and my head real life, my co-host, Mac. Thanks again for joining us this evening on a special evening because we haven't been invaded by an PWW
Here comes
writer.
a new challenger.
Yes. For the first time, and this is volunteer. So I want to make that clear. This is volunteer. So if he takes some hits on this, it's of your own doing, sir. Like, I cannot be held responsible. The gold standard, hashtag gold standard, has joined us tonight. The first writer to come into kind of the lion's den of the PWW Talks podcast. Gold standard, welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me.
You're quite welcome. And really, we were coming into this. I saw your article earlier this week where we were talking about the top 30. Of course, WWE decided we're going to name the top 30 heel turns. And
that was so trash.
Oh, God. Of course, it was done in their consistency of trying to rewrite history.
And the revisionist history, which is BS in of itself.
Well, yes, they WWE is a massive subscriber to History is Written by the Winners. So they are a massive subscriber to that, and they have been doing that for eons, especially anything that represents anything that wasn't done by WWE. Of course, it's like Hogan changed pop culture, the most successful, probably. I mean, the T-shirt has been top 10 selling for almost 30 years.
Yeah.
Every year, consistently. Massive payoff. People still talk about it. Was also the catalyst.
Shirt.
I have sweatshirts. I think I actually got Mac a hoodie a couple of years ago.
You did.
For NWO.
Yes, you
and
did.
Literally, I think I have every iteration of NWO shirts you could possibly have. And the fact is that I am still buying NWO shirts in 2025 when this thing started off in 1996, where with this John Cena thing, we don't know what the payoff is. There has been no payoff. So automatically to put this at number one, it's completely irrational to even do it like this. If they want to do it in 9 months and it's one of the most successful box office attractions ever, fine, I'll give it to them. But this is jumping the gun way too much. And again, rewriting history, which is something that WWE does on a consistent basis.
Yes, it is. And I think my biggest problem with the list was Mark Henry being so low on that list.
Well, there was quite a few that there was a lot missing.
Yeah, there's a lot missing.
There's a lot missing, of course, but then also too, there's the there's so many too that's just like that's too low. That's too high. And then it's not really specific with the Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn thing because that's happened 9,000 times.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like, when did that happen? NXT?
I think it was the NXT one, the original NXT heel turn.
Right.
But again, it's like you kind of got to specify it. It didn't have Ole Anderson turning on Dusty Rhodes in Atlanta back in '82. It doesn't have, Sting and Flair. Which one are we talking about? The one in '91, or the one in '90 when he got kicked out of the Horsemen? The one in '95. The other times that maybe that happened. So really, Sting turning against Flair turning against Sting. Which one are we talking about here? So go ahead. Sorry.
I watched the video on it too, the top 30 heel turns, and Sting got jumped by 3 or 4 different guys, so it might have been the Horseman.
Oh, it was the Horseman one. Yeah, which my cat is just staring at me right now, just like, what are you guys doing?
Even the cat is judging us right now. Even the cat.
It's a good one. It's not Daria, the judgy one. It's Beetlejuice.
Mommy is in Daddy's room.
Yeah, Steph has decided to be an assistant tonight. That's been the she's been the puppeteer of the Undertaker
I'm
tonight.
falling my pillow right now because I'm about to leave.
Because I'm not booked.
Because we're actually starting to talk about wrestling, so she's just like, "I gotta leave the room. I'm now getting tired. I am bored now." But are there any other glaring ones?
Bye, guys.
Let me see if I can find the list again. Hold on.
I got it up on the screen.
We got it pulled up.
Okay, cool.
Number 1 was John Cena, as we talked about. Number 2 is Hogan joining the NWO. 3 is Seth Rollins turning on the Shield. 4 is Shawn Michaels turning on Marty Jannetty. 5 is Dom turning on Ray. 6 is
Too high.
Too high.
I agree. 6 is the New Day turning on Big E.
Too high.
Yep.
Too high.
Yep, agreed.
No payoff.
I mean, there was a payoff,
Not yet.
but it's just.
If Big E gets cleared, then there's a payoff. But the problem is, if Big E doesn't get cleared, there's no payoff.
I agree. 7 is Becky turning on Charlotte.
I wouldn't even put that.
No, I wouldn't either.
Because she was cheered as a
lower.
baby face when she did it.
I know. 8 is the Usos, Jimmy turning on Jay. 9, yeah, I mean,
Bad payoff.
the payoff sucked. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Number 9, number 9 is Nikki Bella turning on Brie Bella.
That was fucking terrible. And they put that in the top 10?
Yep. Number 10 is Triple H attacking Daniel Bryan, leading to Randy Orton cashing in Money in the Bank.
That was actually really good.
That was fair.
Daniel-
That was
Danny
good.
McDanielson.
It was
Yes.
good. Number 11 is Batista turning on Rey Mysterio. Number 12 is Paul Bearer turning on The Undertaker. That should
be in the top 10.
That should be higher. I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. 13, Shane turning on Miz. Why is that there?
Bull.
Yep. It should be.
It was a good feud. It just.
It's just stupid.
The match was good too at Mania. Was that 35?
that was 35. You're right.
Yep. 14, Backlund snapping on Bret Hart.
That was good.
It was. I agree.
All right.
The Mega Powers explode at number 15.
Yeah, you notice how they don't put who turned heel on who on that one.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
There's just two sides of thoughts on that one.
Yep.
It's like you're on the Hogan side of, yeah, he wasn't really doing anything, and then you're on the Macho side of like, well, it's his girl. Like, yeah.
16, Eddie turning on Ray.
Which time?
Exactly. I was going to say it. I was waiting for it.
I think it was before.
Probably
their
05.
their Mania match.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. All right, so that was 16. 17 is Trish turning on Chris Jericho.
That was horrible.
I agree.
Good payoff though, because heel Trish was good.
Heel Trish was awesome, but bad person to choose Chris Jericho right there.
Hi guys, shut up, Chris.
Number 18 is when Scott Steiner joined the NWO.
That should be higher.
I agree.
Yeah.
That should be at least in the top 15.
Yeah, especially when he took it over, I feel like.
Well, that's, and then it just created, he was able to, you got to give credit to Scott in being able to reinvent himself and then becoming world champion within like 2.5 years.
Yep.
I mean, that takes a lot. Yeah.
Number 19, CM Punk attacks The Rock at Raw 1000.
That should be higher, in my opinion.
I agree.
It should be higher, but I would also, I'm surprised they didn't put CM Punk turning on Jeff Hardy when he cashed in.
Oh, well, speaking of Jeff Hardy, he's next because number 20 is Matt Hardy turning on Jeff Hardy.
That was terrible.
I agree.
It was terrible, and the match sucked too.
It was
made the top 20. Come on.
Number 21, Ciampa turns on Gargano.
It should be higher.
Yeah, that's a great turn.
It was.
Yeah.
They need to do it again on the main roster, which I wouldn't be surprised if they do at some point. But number 22, Ric Flair turns on Sting. We already kind of talked about that one. So there's two. There's Sami Zayn Sami Zayn saves Kevin Owens at Hell in a
the
Cell.
Shane McMahon Hell in a Cell match, yeah.
Yep. Number 24, Lita betrays Kane to join Edge.
That should be higher.
That shouldn't even be listed, considering the fact of that Lita was involved in a situation where, at least in the storyline purposes, where Kane was her captor. Then she got impregnated by Kane, and then the whole Snitsky thing. Like, it's just very.
It was weird. Yeah, you're probably right.
It's just very.
I think when China left,
it wouldn't.
That was more,
it wouldn't pass today's standards.
a lot of things wouldn't pass today's standards.
Well, no, but especially that one, because there's just a lot of things in that story that you're just like, it's just not look right at all.
Yeah, we have this conversation like regularly. Like, things that were done even 20 years ago would not fly today.
No, not at all. Not
At all.
A lot of the stuff that Lita was involved with for like 2 years, it's like, oh, that poor woman.
One of the reels that keeps playing for me is on the Undertaker's podcast where he references the Katie Vick thing, and that's another one that's like, that should never happen again. Should have happened, period. Let alone again.
I think we watched that live, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't remember.
I don't know if me and you were
like
watching that together, but I remember watching that and just being like, oh my God.
Yep. And then he like tosses out like fake
I screwed your brains out.
Yeah. So dumb. So dumb. All right. It's number 25. Or 25 is Mark Henry fake retires to turn on John Cena.
That should be higher.
That should be way higher.
That should be in like the top 15, maybe top 10.
I would put it in the top 10.
That started the Hall of Pain gimmick, and that was one of the better gimmicks of recent memory for me.
Well, the Hall of Pain gimmick started, I think, in like 2011, and this was 2013, I think, when this happened. Yeah, I think the Hall of Pain started in like, and I hate to correct you, I feel bad.
No.
It's just like, but I think it was like 2011.
Oh, it was. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
you're right.
All right. 26. Bailey attacks Becky Lynch.
Well, I mean, when was?
I mean, the only one that I can remember off the top of my head is the Damage Control when that first started a couple years ago.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Because it was her and Bianca Belair in the ring, and Bailey came out, reintroduced Io Sky, reintroduced Dakota Kai.
No, I think that was the one with Sasha. It's the one the video showed. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
I was gonna say, because that Damage Control one.
They're not gonna mention Sasha on this thing though at all.
No.
That is true. Number 27, Finn Balor attacks Johnny Gargano.
That was a good one.
That was a good one, yeah. Kind of under the radar because I completely forgot about it.
Yep. Yeah, I did too, honestly. Number 28, Tatanka sells out.
Forgot about this one.
Yeah, me too.
He got because I remember that angle because he was telling Luger, he's like, "You sold out to the $1 Million Man." He's like, "No, I didn't." And then the whole time, Tatanka was the one who sold out. It's like, whoa, wow, you dick.
Yeah. Seriously. Number 29, Shinsuke Nakamura turns on AJ Styles at WrestleMania 34.
Probably one of the most unnecessary heel turns too.
Yeah.
Because he was such an over baby face. It's like, why are you turning him? Vince logic, whatever.
Yeah, that's like peak Vince McMahon era logic right there.
Yeah, that was in a senile phase. There was a good 5 years where it was just like, what are you fucking doing, man?
Yeah, it was
like, are you even trying anymore?
No, that was the problem.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, and number 30, Kevin Owens betrays Sami Zayn.
Again, which time?
Yeah, that's exactly right.
The original one when Sammy won the NXT championship.
Oh yeah. That honestly, if that should be higher too. That should be like the top 10, top 15.
Yeah, that's a great one.
I mean, and that kind of started. Oh God, I can't believe that was almost 11 years ago now. Jesus.
So here's one final thought. The top 3, top 4, in no particular order, are okay for now.
Yeah.
Except for John Cena and Cody Rhodes. 2, 3, and 4 should probably go up each one.
Yep.
I would agree. I have no problem with Seth turning on the Shield being number 3. Only because the fact of you're looking at, but it also should be number 2.
Yeah.
It could either be 2 or 3. Hogan in the NWO is still number 1, only because of the fact that Hogan turning, we had no idea going in that was even a possibility.
I mean, it changed history too, if you think about it.
It did. It literally changed history, but we had no idea. You tell anybody, you talk to anybody going into the Bash at the Beach 1996 with the third man, that logic, there is really no one that's probably saying Hogan, because he wasn't even a thought at that point. It's just like, no, he's been babyface for like over a decade. He's not going to do that. And then all of a sudden it's just like, and then when he did it, it was like a lightning bolt, because then business all of a sudden just fucking took off.
Yeah.
And the Cena turn, actually Kevin Nash said something actually brilliant about it that I actually kind of wanted to pull up. Surprisingly, I did prep work. I'm getting better with this now as I've gotten, like, as time has gone on. I'm starting to be like, oh wait, like, I'm saving things. I'm doing a little, like, adding a little things to the program. And it's just like,
Hey, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
right.
what is that?
I'm changing as time has gone on in my life. I'm just like, but he, the thing that Nash said perfectly, that I absolutely thought he was 100% right, was when he said that it's not that big of an impact, considering the fact that we know that he's going to be gone in like 8 months. And I think that that's part of the thing that I keep having to remind people of. He is doing this because really it's at the end.
And he's almost 50.
He's almost 50. He hasn't done, and usually when you're a heel, you don't have to do the comebacks. You know, like you can, you don't have to take the poundings that you did. He doesn't have to be super seen anymore. So he doesn't have to go in there and just get beaten with like 18 finishers in a row and all that type of stuff. It's pretty much now he can, it's a lot easier work than I'm sure that what he's probably put in with this babyface character. But now,
bullshit final run.
Yeah, it's retirement tours to me. It's like, Kobe should get a retirement tour. Like, David Ortiz should get a retirement tour. Yeah. And I look at John Cena. It's just like, for what?
Yeah, I mean, for 15 years, well, probably 10 to 15, I'll say, he was WWE, like, without a shadow of a doubt. But then you look at the last 5 to 10, where's he been? What's he done?
Well, I think shitty movies. I think that...
Well, but...
and jobs. Lots of jobs.
Lots of jobs.
With Gold Standard here, this is a conversation of a new, so we can talk about this because we have somebody with probably a different perspective or a similar perspective, in the sense of that, when everybody calls him the GOAT, whenever somebody says that this guy is the flag bearer of the company, yes, he was. He was the flag bearer for quite a number of years. He had a tremendous run.
Yeah, he did.
Also, during that time, business was in the shitter and no one cared. Like, can you name mainstream, like, no one mainstream wise or even in pop culture wise thought pro wrestling was cool when John Cena was on top.
Yeah, no.
That is my number one issue with the retirement tour, and also people just saying that he is the greatest of all time. It's like, because he won 16 championships that he really didn't win.
Yeah, he got cashed in on, what, once or twice?
Yeah, I mean, Rob Van Dam, and then
Van Dam.
I think
wasn't Edge one of them? Yeah.
Edge is the first one in New Year's Revolution 06.
Yeah, that was a great moment.
Great cash in.
Yep.
Great.
Yeah, he got cashed in on twice in like 6 months. That's an interesting. That's
When he put it in that perspective, it's actually a lot funnier.
it is. And Edge actually was involved in both of them, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
Because he did it the first one, and the second one he helped Rob Van Dam. It's. I look at this and I think to myself, it's just like the celebration of this guy that, yeah, he was around forever, but he also did it in a time when it was like the NBA post Jordan, and it lasted for 15 years before they could even gain like relevancy. And so it's, I don't know. I got to think of somebody that doesn't have the charisma of certain athletes that like, because you look at Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns has an aura about him.
Yeah, he does.
He just has an aura about him. Even when he was getting booed out of the building, he still had an aura about him.
Yep. He walks in, shit gets real.
Yeah. Where I feel like with Cena, whenever he came out, it was just the same song and dance.
Oh, I have the reaction for
week.
that. It's
yeah, exactly.
That
it's
was
just
the reaction every time he came out.
But I also have to think that when John Cena's era started, we were in our, at least me and Mac were in our 20s.
Yep.
Oh, I was born in '96, so I'm a little
okay.
younger.
So you were 9 when he won his first championship.
Yeah.
So wait a minute. So if that's the case, Gold Standard, let me ask you a question. So were you a Cena person like growing up? Like were you a fan?
He wasn't my favorite. Batista was always my favorite growing up.
That's fair.
Man,
That's fair.
I was more of a SmackDown guy. You know, I like to watch SmackDown a lot more because they had Taker, Rey Mysterio, Batista, you know, Kurt Angle, Edge, you know, all them guys.
I wish
it's funny because we were more like Raw guys.
I mean, yeah, but we also grew up in that time period, though. When you and I were growing up, there was no SmackDown originally.
No, there wasn't.
Right?
Not until 99, yeah.
Exactly. And then SmackDown at the time didn't have like this whole, what we have now with like drafting and different superstars on different shows.
It was clearly the B show, and you knew it.
It was, but I mean, what I'm saying is, I mean, that's being objective, I feel like.
At certain points, I will say at certain points, when Gold Standard was watching it, when he talked about the talent that was on that roster, then I don't consider it the B show at all. I consider it kind of 1A, 1B.
Right.
Yeah.
I think they had just as much talent and just as much going on with Raw at certain points.
Right.
You could say that too with the Paul Heyman era with the SmackDown 6, where you can argue that SmackDown was better than Raw during that period as well. So, I mean, there have been times where SmackDown has really been cooking, where Raw has been kind of. Now it's the opposite, which is it's like Raw on Netflix is like the gold standard. And I look at SmackDown now and I'm just like, oh, sorry for gimmick infringement.
Yeah,
oh, no, it's
seriously.
fine.
What's
It's
up
fine.
with that, man?
You're right. I mean, growing up, I was always, you know, like I watched a lot of both shows, like Raw and SmackDown. But I was always more SmackDown because it just felt more legitimate to me. Like, you know, I still believed it was real.
Right.
Somehow, you know, so I always took that as, hey, you know, like the storyline, CM Punk and Rey Mysterio leading into Mania.
Right.
I believe those two really hated each other.
Well, they made it look.
They made it look really good.
They made it look really good too because of, you know, the bringing in the kids. You know, him singing to his
Dominic,
daughter. It's like, that little bitch. Like,
yeah.
That's a bad word.
I will admit this, and I don't mind admitting this. Dominic has had heat with me since 2005. Like ever since he was in that dumb storyline anyways. So all of a sudden when he became a talent and a wrestler, I was just like, oh, okay. Well, that's fine. I'll just dig up the old hatred that I had for him before.
Yeah.
but he is one of those guys I could sit there and say in the last 5 years that I was wrong about because he needed to kind of figure himself out. And he
I don't
figured
know
out
the last
it's like,
5, Dan, but definitely the last 3.
Yeah.
ah,
I think he's grown on me a lot because he's proven that he can do something well.
Yep. Agreed.
So
right. I mean, even when he debuted, everybody was just like, "Oh, he had a great match." It's like, yeah, it's against Seth Rollins. Like,
oh yeah, really, like
No, but I mean,
He
even
could
when they
wrestle
put him with the NXT North American Championship, I mean, he had good matches. Granted, yeah, a lot of them
yeah, he did.
ended with interference or whatever, and whatever. But
typical
He's-
Judgment Day shit, you know.
exactly, right? But he's done well since then, and he's developed both his in-ring ability and his character work. So I can't really sit there and knock him. 5 years
Yeah, I
ago,
can't either.
plus when he was with Ray still, yeah, no, I didn't like him. I did-
Oh,
Yeah,
I
no,
did
me
not
neither,
like him.
really. We're talking just pure white meat, baby face, just Dom, no thanks. But you give me dirty Dom all day.
So we're talking. So it's interesting we're talking about Dom because we can go into a transition a little bit because when I was planning out this show, I was like, okay, we're gonna definitely because you had mentioned and wrote about how you thought that this list was complete crap, and I was
It
like,
is.
okay, this is perfect. Like this is perfect, and I said. I kind of have a view into the window of Gold Standard a little bit. Okay, so this is where we can jump off of. And then all of a sudden, 4:30 this afternoon, Max sends me an article, and I'm like, oh, he's talking trash about Rhea Ripley. Oh, Gold Standard. Really? Is he just opening himself out now? Really? Oh boy! Now you got to come on, and you got heat. It's like what? Like. Rhea Ripley, you're not special. I'm like, what?
Okay, hold on. Let me explain what I was trying to say there.
Please do.
So, she's not the most talented woman on the roster. To me, that's Charlotte, Bailey, or Bianca. Should she have a match at WrestleMania? Yes. Should it be for a world championship? Probably not. Because she already lost to EO. Okay, keeping it kayfabe, whatever. You know, she lost to EO. Bianca won the Elimination Chamber. Let them two go at it. Give her a suitable challenger, you know, like a Bailey or someone. Let them go at it. I'd watch Rhea and Bailey.
I'm wondering. Well, I think Bailey's probably going to get Roxanne Perez.
That's going to be fire, too.
That is going to be fire.
Yeah.
God, that pay-per-view, that show's going to be so good.
I know the road to WrestleMania, which we'll talk more about because I know you said you wanted to discuss it, so I was just like, okay,
Yeah.
we'll talk about it. But I look at, and you're right in the sense of that. Yeah, Rhea is probably not as talented as Bianca. She's not as talented as
Charlotte or Bailey.
as Charlotte, but as far as aura is concerned, as far as popularity, as far as mainstream appeal. For most, even though I think that we've had a debate on this program, we don't know if Rhea is in the sense of where people like Rhea because they think she's a great talent, or they like Rhea because of other reasons.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just that's kind of been the debate we've had occasionally on this program. That I've just been like, yeah, maybe she's propped up a little bit because reasons.
Just
but I look-
two words. Goth mommy.
Yeah,
Just I think that's all
fair
you need to
enough.
say.
I get it. I understand. We've all been there, right? I mean,
Yeah, I mean, I understand completely.
like, we've all been there. Okay,
I think
get
most
it.
people of our
get
gender
it.
understand and have been
Yes.
there. Yeah.
It's just I don't care who you are, man or woman, anybody. You're like like there's just that you go through that phase at least one time, folks. You just do. And I think that Rhea is kind of the poster child for people that are like, if I agree though with you with Bianca because I for some reason, I have just like infatuation with Bianca of just like, because I think she is probably one of the most talented in-ring performers today. And also, I think she's a tremendous role model for the company.
Absolutely.
And also, too, I think she is probably one of the most naturally beautiful women on the roster. Where it's like, I feel like she doesn't have to kind of glam herself up like a lot of the girls do. And also aren't trying to win share lookalike contests in Vegas like Charlotte. So, if I could turn back time. Nope. Nope. Stop with your face, please. It's just, it's hard to watch because you're just like, you didn't have to do all this. Like, you didn't, you could have left it alone and not had to,
Yeah.
She's just going to, does she have to go to Mako to get like the side job done on it? It's just like, Nick. We got to get the Bondo out of this. I don't know how long it's going to take. God, what the hell? You're just there with a king. Ah, damn it. I need another chisel. King. Ah, damn it.
And then you end up with Tiffany Stratton.
Oh. Yes, exactly. It's like, especially when she was in that Clueless outfit, I was just like, why are you doing this to me? Why?
Right.
Why are you doing this to everybody on the planet? Because it's like that. It's the funny part is too. She wasn't even born when that movie came out.
No, she wasn't.
Because I keep forgetting she was born in like 99 or 2000 even. She's like 25 years old. That's just
what year did that movie come out? Was it 95?
95, yeah.
God, I wasn't even born. Jesus Christ.
I was 12.
Perfect age for, was that Alicia Silverstone?
Yes, yeah.
Yep.
There were, she was also in a movie called Crush back then too. Like she was in other movies which Crush was a. What the hell? What? What the fuck was that?
It's Ron Simmons. There's a huge play up to it, though. So
I just like.
We made conversation. Next thing we hear is
damn
club music.
Well, the funny part is I had no idea that was coming because usually it's like we have the clips but now he's just adding clips without me kind of just like, what's the payoff here? Like,
oh, come on, man. There was payoff there. Come on.
Well, I mean, it just took me a moment to be like, where's the payoff? Where is it? Oh, there it is.
There it is. Homer had the heart attack.
It's Barney. It's Barney on the tab. Oh no, my heart stopped. Oh,
there it goes. Yep.
Oh, so I mean, so coming into this, like we both love Rhea here. We're both, but I agree. I agree with you. She's not as talented, maybe in ring wise, as some of the others. I think Io and Bianca would be a banger, but at the same time, because we still have, I think we have another edition of Saturday night's main event coming up before WrestleMania, if I'm not mistaken.
I think it's after, actually, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
I think it's in a couple weeks or something like that after. I'll have to check.
I thought it was before. Only because
they should do one before, objectively, but
yes. Plus, I think too, you kind of want to have, because I expect a rematch or something to kind of happen before then, because if you want to do Bianca and Rhea, that's kind of the marquee match that everybody's wanted.
Yeah.
But also, I think adding Io to kind of take the fall for one of those two works as well. Because maybe you don't want to have Bianca or Rhea take the pin yet. from each other, because that's a definite one-on-one match. It's just money. But
I just think this was a cop-out, honestly. Like, I get everybody's point of view. Like, some people are for Io, some people are for Rhea, some people are for Bianca. And listen, I get that, but this is what people want, right? Regardless of those thoughts, people want Rhea and Bianca. And I get it. You put Io in probably to eat the pin. Let's be real. It's probably what's going to go down. But I just doesn't do anything for me at that point.
no,
That's shitty to do to Io.
That too.
And it's like, oh, we're just giving her a championship reign to transition to Bianca, or putting the belt back on Rhea without either one of them really having to lose. And that is just cheap. It's just cheap. And you know what? You see it coming. You see that that's what they're doing. It's like, are you going to make it a triple threat match and Io's going to eat the pin? Because that's exactly how they're going to do it. Yep. And you know that because it's like then just give us the one-on-one match. No, can't have it. It's kind of Vince's ideology sometimes, because Vince's ideology was always like, I can't have this person beat this person. I can't do that. And
you do a really good Vince McMahon impression.
I thought it was I thought mine has been one of the more worse ones, because I've been able to see a lot of people do good ones. But, sometimes it's like, if you just hear that voice in your head, because I always felt like as a wrestling fan growing up, or also someone that is still into this after so long, you always have internal dialogue in your head that's Vince McMahon speaking to you. Because you do this long enough, it's just like he's in there and he's just talking to you, and he's just like, you'd be randomly playing a WWE game, and all of a sudden he's just like, goddamn, pal, you know what you should do? I think you should have Hogan beat him here. Yeah, that's what I think, pal. That's what we should do. And it's just all of a sudden this like little things that are just like, oh my God, I'm doing Vince McMahon booking. Why? But then he's like that little, well, he is Satan. He is some sort of like being from hell. But so it's like, I could say the little devil on my shoulder, and it's Vince, and he's just like,
it's such good shit, pal.
It really is. Like, it's just, he's just dancing around. He's just like, ha ha ha, you can't get rid of me. Ha ha, I am always going to be around. Ha ha, pal. And it's just this, because you've dealt with him for so long. And he's kind of like the Walt Disney effect. It's like, even after he's gone, it's still like he still has that thumbprint of just like, yeah, he's still there.
Yeah.
Like
he's like a fungus, or like herpes almost. You can't get rid of him no matter how hard you try.
I wouldn't say. God damn, that was good.
Shit.
It's like, I just can't get rid of him. It's like, I just can't get rid of him. My God, why? Why are there poop jokes in this? Why is he doing pee caca stuff? Why? It's funny. The night that we're recording this, tonight is the 5-year anniversary of the start of the Thunderdome era.
Which I also made a post about today.
You did. And it's so interesting. And I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, that was 5 years ago. God.
Yeah.
Where the hell is time gone? What were you doing Gold Standard 5 years ago? Like, were you like everybody else, I'm sure, but how was your life like really impacted, or did you still have to were you considered an essential worker?
I work in healthcare.
Okay. So, you were definitely essential.
Yeah.
Yes.
I actually didn't end up getting COVID until the end of 21.
Okay. Yeah, that was.
So I got really lucky, but that first time was hell.
Actually, I think I got it the beginning of 22, so I was able to skate for like the first year and a half.
Yeah, it was not fun.
Yeah,
I remember exactly what I was doing at that time. That I was working at a assisted living where I'm from in West Virginia, and wrestling at the time, it just kind of shut down. But the show must go on. One of those type of deals. So they had WrestleMania 36.
Yes,
And that show had a lot of good shit in it.
it did.
For what the circumstances were, that show was better than what it should have been.
Especially that Boneyard match. The Boneyard match is great.
Boneyard match, Firefly Funhouse.
Firefly Funhouse.
That ladder match.
Yeah, that was fun. That was fun.
KO and Rollins was fun, except it was a shitty finish.
Brock and Drew. It was good to see Drew get his moment, but at the same time, I'm like,
yeah,
because you wanted that to happen in front of fans, especially too how the Rumble when he won, everybody in the building was just like,
yeah, they all just like collectively shit their pants.
Everybody was so happy because it was just like, this is the guy we want. We want him to be the guy. We want him to be anointed. And then he finally gets anointed and no one's there.
Yeah. Like, I couldn't imagine being Drew McIntyre in that situation.
Oh, God. It's just, I would have just been like, really?
Like, what else? Like, I mean, he went from being Vince's chosen one back in, 08, 09?
09, yeah.
To finally 11 years later, after leaving the company, coming back, getting a Rumble win, beating Brock Lesnar at Mania in front of nobody. Like, that would, kill my spirit.
But you think about it 5 years later, he's a bigger star. He is probably one of the better heels they have in the company.
Yeah.
His character work has, even then, I was noticing, I'm like, yeah, he's great. He's a great babyface, but as a heel, he's excellent.
So much better.
Just such solid work that he's been doing.
Yeah.
And
his Twitter game is on point too. I don't know if you noticed that or not.
It's fantastic. And Naomi's gonna get on the act too. I've been noticing this week. I think she posted. She's just like the picture of her and Drew McIntyre, just like, oh, two people that think alike. And then they posted pictures of a bloody punk and then a laid out Jade Cargill. They're just like, look at the great work we do together. It's like, just great heel work. But Drew really kind of just kept them going throughout that time because
he did.
He had some great feuds in 2020 with, especially that Randy Orton one. That thing was absolute ridiculous. That ambulance match was fantastic. Probably one of the better ambulance matches I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Drew and Orton, I think definitely deserve kind of trophies for that year, because if it wasn't for those two and the feud that they had, I don't know who would have been watching on a consistent basis every week.
I would not have been.
Mind you, they tried. I will give them 100% kind of good faith that whole time of, a lot of the stuff I don't want to go back and watch because it's just weird seeing wrestling with and not in front of people. But
it is.
I will give them credit in saying that they at least really tried their hardest to try to make it,
feel like it's something.
That was such a weird time. And the fact that it was 5 years ago, too, it's like, where the hell has time gone?
Yeah.
I felt like that was just 2 weeks ago.
Right. The thing about it is, wrestling at that time kept me going. In a time where everything was so just dark and dreary. I had that to look forward to weekly, and I had that to go back and watch. I could watch the older stuff that was on the network at the time, and now it's on Peacock. But at the time, I could always just go back and watch, the 08 Rumble, which is my personal favorite pay-per-view ever.
Oh, the 08.
Cena.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Cena. It's a great pay-per-view.
I didn't like the ending, but yeah, I thought it was good. John Cena's going to be out for at least a year. Great. 3 months later. You got to be fucking kidding me. I'm like yelling at the TV. I'm like, he's supposed to be done. What the fuck? God. Another wrestler. Enough of this bullshit. Good show, though. Good show. Just there's so many times that happened, and just I'm at the house and I'm watching a pay-per-view and it's just like I'm like, are you fucking kidding me again? I dropped more money to watch John Cena lose pay-per-views than I think anything else. And then he just kept winning and fucking winning and fucking winning. Oh, just constantly. Mac knows he was at my house for a good 5 years, and then finally around 2010, he's just like, I'm out of here. This is fucking, it's never ending. This is going to keep going and going.
I hated him.
God.
I straight up hated John Cena. I liked him originally, right? Ruthless Aggression comes in against Kurt Angle, Dr. Thugonomics. But man, I'll say it, like right at that transition with not only the music, the Never Give Up shit, but the Marine especially, right? As soon as he started incorporating that stupid movie character he played into that, I was just done. I was just done. I didn't care anymore. And they just, we've talked about this before, and how they, like Lyra Valkyria right now, this falls into her category, right? Where they just shove somebody down your throat. Just continuously. You don't like him? Too bad. You don't like her? Too bad. And that's exactly what it was for John Cena for me. They just continued to shove him down people's throats.
Wait, you don't like Lyra?
It's not that I don't like her. I just think she got pushed very heavily, very early. That's the only thing.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
I think she's incredibly talented, and
oh God,
I'm never going to take that away from her. I just feel like they're shoving her down people's throats way too much, way too fast.
I feel like she's 3 years away from being a title contender. She kind of needs 3 years of kind of seasoning to
She needs to develop more of her character.
Yes.
Like, listen, like that, like to make the comparison for a second, that's why Tiffany's so over, because she's developed the character. She plays it very well. And yeah, she's gorgeous, but she's also got incredible skills too in the ring.
Yeah, she's so damn good.
She is. And Lyra is too, but Lyra doesn't have that same kind of character building that Tiffany had.
Yeah, she doesn't have that charisma.
Exactly. And that's where I think putting Tiffany in the spot that she's in as quickly as they have was fine. It worked. Plus, she had the introductory feud kind of coming up as the NXT champion against Becky Lynch. And that was able to make it work too. Where Lyra really has not had that either.
I still feel like, and Mac will wholeheartedly agree, that Dakota Kai should have been the first IC champ and not
1,000,000%. Justice for Dakota Kai.
Yeah, it's just Dakota. It's and I understand too because she has a bit of a injury proneness, not as bad as Tegan Knox. Yeah, because that poor girl. I felt like every time she made a step, she blew her ACL. But it's with Dakota, it's like they try. They're like, oh, we're gonna really push, and then she gets hurt, and then it's just like, okay, but you can at least try again. Like she is a good character. I think she's a tremendous talent. And
so hold on a second. Let me ask you a question then. And this can go to both of you. We talked a few minutes ago about potentially the triple threat match for the Women's World Championship. Do you see them turning Dakota Kai heel, and maybe that's how that match ends?
No.
Or good answer. Okay.
No.
Nope.
I just I don't think Dakota has that mean streak, kayfabe wise, to be a heel, I guess.
I mean, we can call Tegan Knox, and I think she would probably disagree with that statement.
Oh, the War Games turn, yeah.
Oh, God.
That's actually, we were talking about Tegan Knox in the same vein. I'm like, well, let me ask the question now.
Okay, maybe. I mean, Dakota now.
Yeah, in the here and the now, I think it's tough. I agree. Right?
It's tough.
I don't think it's impossible is the issue, too, though. Right? Like, I don't
nothing
know.
is
It's
impossible
hard.
at this point.
Yeah, I mean, it is WrestleMania season.
The season of always.
Season of always.
How, Gold Standard, how do you like the build so far, Mania?
Some of them I love, some of them I'm not real fond of.
Yeah.
Let me give you an example of one I'm not super fond of. Jey Uso and Gunther.
Yeah,
it's like I didn't mind that Jay won the Rumble. That's fine. He's over. He's great in the ring, whatever. But the way the feud has been set up, it's just like Gunther snuck attacked him. Okay, no problem. He just keeps doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it. Where's the meat and potatoes about it? You know, where's the past beef? Where's the this, and this? You know, you got to have X and Y to get the Z.
I have to agree with you because this whole thing with, I don't know, Alpha Academy, Alpha Babes, whatever the hell they're calling them now, it's just weird. It's just weird. Like, okay, cool, he's got some allies, but why?
Like, why them?
Yeah.
Of all people, why them?
Not even that, but like, okay, cool. Like, Tozawa faces Gunther 1 week, then Otis does. There's that back and forth between Uso and Gunther at that point because of that. And I get it, but
kind of gives me like Hangman Page and Dark Order vibes with this whole thing.
I don't want to say that, but you're right. You are. But the other thing for me is this too. And like, this is why the whole Alpha Academy, Alpha Babes, whatever the hell they are now, like I said, it's weird because you're not involving Gunther's other guy, Ludwig Kaiser. Kaiser's doing this whole thing with Penta. And listen, that's fine. I'm all for that. But it's just a weird kind of angle. It's I don't know how else to describe it. It's just weird.
Give me a fatal 4-way at Mania. Breaker, Ludwig Kaiser, Sheamus, Penta. IC title on the line. Let's run it.
I'm all for that.
I don't know if Penta is going to be involved in the IC match only because of the fact I don't know. There are rumors that Phoenix is going to be able to be the plan that he's already factored in for Mania.
Oh, he is?
That's what I'm hearing.
No, I knew he was very close to signing, but I didn't know he was already factored into Mania.
I also heard Jeff Cobb is on their internal roster.
I did too. I've seen that today.
That's been making the rounds.
That's going to be a big signing.
That is, and that's also going to be kind of because again, I'd always thought he'd be a guy that would go to AEW, considering the connection with New Japan.
Yeah.
New Japan New Japan right now is vacant of any like top stars or talent.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at them, and it's just because you kind of have to go back a little bit and think of where they were 6 years ago, and when they were
Okada, Ospreay,
and then also selling out Madison Square Garden with Ring of Honor.
Yeah,
and then all of a sudden, AEW starts, and they're playing, and all of a sudden their whole U.S. expansion, well, that's done. Can't do that now. Because they were on the cusp. I thought in 2018, I'm like, if New Japan, now's the time. If they're going to expand to the U.S., now is the time, because I think that they'll be able to get a good portion of the audience that'll want to come over and carry over. They had NAP with New Japan World. I'm like, this completely makes sense. And then all of a sudden, Tony Khan gets involved. It's just like, oh, well, there goes that idea.
Yeah.
What is your opinion of what happened on Sunday with Revolution?
I didn't watch it. I was at a cookout for my brother-in-law's birthday.
Well, I mean, that's fair.
I kept up with it.
Yeah.
I heard that Tony Storm and Mariah May had a great match. That's all fine and dandy, But now Tony has nobody to face because Mercedes Moné has run through everybody. Made them all look stupid, except for Megan Bain.
And she's and she attacked Tony the other night, so now it's going to be Megan Bain, who just showed up like 3 months ago, getting the shot at Tony Storm. And yeah, that's the problem, because you have Mercedes who has run roughshod over everybody. Yep. And Mac is so timely because he already has the ending up of what happened on Sunday
I knew
night.
this was going to get brought up, so yeah.
Well, of course it was, only because the fact that we have to. We don't focus a lot of time on AEW sometimes, only because the fact that.
Oh, dude, I have 3 articles from the staff because.
Be quite honest.
Sad.
And I understand that, and Gold Standard might disagree with me, but I look at AEW and I just think to myself, there's really not much good to report.
No, I agree completely.
It's like, I can't. So talking about it sometimes, I'm just like, well, I can talk about the negative or I can talk about the positive. But the problem is that it's like 90% negative.
Yeah, like how the hell do you defend some of the shit they do?
Especially the main event on Sunday night.
Cope and Mox should have lost. Should have been Mox losing, Cope winning, Christian coming in, signing that contract, cashing in. Christian should be the world champion right now.
Or you do a finish that makes sense.
Either that or he just wins in a triple threat because he signed the contract. Like either of those finishes, I'm fine with that. Not okay, I signed the contract, I'm going to slide in and then immediately get choked out by Jon Moxley.
Yeah,
the only scenario that I would have accepted of Jon Moxley still retaining the title is if Christian hits the unpritter on Cope, Moxley comes in, tosses out Christian, Moxley puts him in that sleeper hold, and while Christian is recovering, he's peering up and he's just about to get inside, and he just has it, and Christian is staring at Cope, and all Cope does is flips him off as he passes out.
Yeah,
that is the only acceptable finish for Moxley to win, because that at least carries on the story for Cope, and I almost said Edge. It carries on the thing for Cope and for Christian.
Yeah.
That carries on their story. Moxley gets out of it now and gets a victory, and fine, they can keep this thing going. And then hopefully Swerve Strickland ends it at the next pay-per-view. But apparently their rematch, there's going to be a rematch between Cope and Moxley. It's going to happen next week on Dynamite.
Oh
boy. And it's going to be a street fight.
God's sake.
Why is that on television?
Because.
Enlighten me, please, Daniel.
Tony's an idiot.
Okay. All right. So hold on. Right. Let's backtrack for a second. So
Tony's a shitty booker.
Yeah.
Hold on. Again, I prepped articles outside of just gold standards because this is what we do, right? We other articles. Yeah. So ironically enough, one of the articles that I grabbed was very simply Tony by Enrico Gates. If you were able to ask Tony Khan one question during an AEW media call, what would you ask Tony Khan?
Oof.
I very clearly had a plan here, you know that. So
I know, it's brilliant. I mean, it's 100% brilliant.
And I don't know. It just, we have people that listen and don't watch the video portion, and I know sometimes vision is a problem with Dan and I. We're aging, etc. But behind Tony Khan is a framed picture of Tony Khan and Dave Meltzer.
Yep. Yep.
You see that shit? That's
Yeah, that's great.
Yep.
That's fantastic. Oh, Dave Meltzer, by the way, I don't know if anybody actually reported this or not on the site, but Dave Meltzer, I guess, had some Twitter problems this week after
Yes,
getting heckled
apparently.
by quite a number of fans.
Good.
Well, because they just so
I'm sorry, Twitter X, excuse me.
a group of people decided to report him as reporting fake news.
I mean, let's be real, he does.
Well, I mean, that guy's track record of being right is
Yeah.
I think he's batting like under 200. Like, it's he's batting like, okay, like, you're not even batting a ball, kid. Like, I think you should pack it in.
Yeah.
It might I don't know. It might be zero.
I might have 0 Twitter followers after today, Brian. Why? Because I got blocked. They suspended my account. Brian, help! Help me, Brian.
It might I don't know. It might be zero.
If anything, they should try to get Tony Khan to stop Twittering, so that way he'd actually run the show better.
Should get
not
Tony
us.
Khan to
Yeah.
stop doing a lot of things.
Oh my God! Well, if we had one question, I guess we might as well, like, you know, I guess we could go through.
I already know my question, so I'm waiting on you guys.
I've got a shit ton of questions. I can't
I
decide on
got a
which one.
shit ton.
Okay, that's fair. I listen. I actually think that's a good answer as well.
The guest goes first. I
Yep.
think because he is a guest of the program, he should go first.
Why the hell do you keep going back to Mock?
Completely fair.
Fair.
Daniel,
How many Jericho ADAs exist?
NDAs, you mean? Yeah,
NDAs.
that's a good question too. You know what my question is, guys?
What?
Can you stop booking your fucking show?
Oh shit.
Yes. Tony, why is your payroll more than the Tampa Bay Rays? Tony, do you regret paying Mercedes Monet that much money?
Tony, why don't you give Brock Lesnar a call?
Brock Lesnar and AEW would get them 1 million viewers.
I'm
question.
telling you.
They would get 1 million viewers with Brock Lesnar in the company. But the problem
Or
is,
Goldberg.
if you bring Brock Lesnar in the company, if he is going to automatically win the world title, and no one will ever be able to take the title off him, because he will either tell Tony to go fuck himself, and then if anybody tries to go shoot on Brock Lesnar, they're going to fucking die. So he's never going to lose the title. Like, they're going to have to close up shop if they give him the belt, because
Jesus Christ.
no, can you? Okay, out of everybody on that roster, anybody on that roster, can any of them take Brock Lesnar in a fight?
Lashley.
Okay, but Lashley wouldn't care.
Bobby who?
Exactly.
Yep.
That killed his career. He was never taken seriously again after that that promo. No one, like, it was so sad because I like Lashley too. And I thought when he got his run in 2021, I was just like, yeah, he deserves this. Like, he's earned it. He's worked his ass off. But ever since that promo, it's like I can't take him seriously. I just can't do it because you're dealing with literally like Bobby who exactly over dead. It's over. No, but if they were smart, they would hire Brock. They would bring Brock in. But the problem is that if you bring Brock in, there's a whole set of problems that come with that. Meaning, Brock's not going to want to lose. Brock's going to want to beat everybody. And there's going to be no one in the company that's going to be able to take it off him. And Tony Khan in a meeting with Brock Lesnar. Could you imagine Tony trying to go in for a hug at a press conference?
Be the funniest shit ever.
Listen. I have no desire to watch the product at this point. I would
I don't
watch it
either.
just for that. Just to watch him try to hug
It's
Brock
so
Lesnar.
hard.
It is. Listen. I have a couple. One more actually, because the other one was the Mox one, but I do have one more about AEW, which was actually by David. He misses old school AEW basically.
Not wrong.
Yeah.
No, not wrong at all.
Not wrong. It's hard because the
comment here though, I'm sorry to cut you off, but
no,
the comment he makes here, I'm not going to read the whole article. I'm not going to do that tonight, but no one talks about AEW anymore. It's there, it's still being watched, but yeah, it's just not a hot topic anymore.
No, it exists, but it doesn't have the. They had a pay-per-view on Sunday, yet everybody is still talking about the John Cena fucking heel turn.
From a week prior.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like they're just. We were in Los Angeles. Like, we got $1 million gate. Yeah, they don't care. Like, we just, they just don't care.
For me too. When they announced that it's going to be on Amazon Prime now, I'm like, all right, cool. Maybe I'll watch it. Yeah, you still need to pay like $50 on top of your Prime subscription to watch it. So
yeah, they can kiss my ass on that one.
Yep. I'm in agreement with you because I figured, hey, I'm a Prime subscriber. I'll watch it. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
I'll actually not have to really worry about the money at that point. No, still gotta pay $50.
UFC is thinking about discontinuing their pay-per-views.
I saw that.
They're
idea.
They're entering their phase of their lives of what WWE was like 10, 12 years ago when they just said that model is going away. And why don't we just charge a subscription and we'll give it to them.
Right.
And I think that's kind of which I also think that now that UFC and WWE are going to be under the same umbrella, I'm wondering if they're just going to make their own platform. And
they're trying to bring back boxing, so who knows?
Yeah, that's true because they're now with they're now starting a boxing promotion which is involved with Dana White, Nick Khan, and the Saudi Arabia Sports Group over there.
Oh, great!
Yeah. Hey, look, like it's everybody does it. Like it's not just. You got golfers doing it. You got heavyweight championship fights going over there. You got UFC doing it. It's just
the pop in place. I mean,
they do. It's popping already.
Show me the money.
I mean, they're throwing around massive amounts of cash, especially too with the Rumble next year.
Rumble.
They could come out and be like, this is the most successful gate for a Royal Rumble ever. Yeah, because it's a fucking paid show. That's why.
Yeah.
You know what I'll say about the Rumble being there, though? You will not see the women last nearly as long in the
No.
They're gonna get
I wouldn't
gassed.
be surprised if they do it on Monday.
Well,
we're gonna have the Rumble. In the
I mean,
States.
listen, that's true too with the time difference. But I'm thinking just in general, like if the women have to wear the full body outfits that they've been wearing over there, there's no way they're gonna last.
No. You're gonna. I was surprised when Daniel McDanielson
Oh,
the greatest Royal Rumble.
Daniel McDanielson.
The greatest Royal Rumble. He went, and it was right after he came back from his retirement, and he went like 90 minutes in like that 50-man battle Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
In the first Saudi Arabia show. I'm like, God, even in that environment, that weather, it's like, and you're going in there for like 90 minutes. That's ridiculous. That is absolutely ridiculous.
He's a bad man, though. If anybody could do it, it'd be him.
That's true. I mean, even with a like 3-year layoff, for even he's just like, it's fine. I'm there. Yeah, but going back to AEW, it's hard to kind of it's hard to root for them.
It's hard to defend them.
It's so hard to root for them because they're just, those fans just come off as such pariahs. Just pariahs.
It's the gatekeeping for me.
That's
like
the problem.
If you don't know who that guy is, why are you even here? Like,
you're
come
a piece
on.
of shit. You don't know who he is? Google it. It's like,
so we haven't talked about this yet, actually, but we have this friend who, I don't know if you know the soundbite, but
Boo Ran.
That's the guy, and picked a fight, not with the pro wrestling world, but another wrestling page, obviously somewhere on Facebook. Picks a fight saying that Mercedes can't draw. Apparently, he had it called an incel. I don't remember what else happened. Did he say? I don't even remember now.
I don't. It's
a fight about it.
I'm not surprised.
No, me either. You know.
I tell him all the time. I'm like, will you just stop? Just stop. Like, just stop picking fights with people sometimes. Like, it's like, just don't comment. You know what's gonna happen. Like, you know what's going to happen when you comment on them. Even though lately I've been commenting, I'll even comment on their own Facebook page. And I think one of the last ones I wrote was Moxley when this Death Riders thing was just starting out. And it was, I think they were supposed to do like a TBS takeover. And see, he was supposed to take over TBS. And he shows up to cut his promo at 9 o'clock. So an hour into the show. And then he immediately leaves after the promo. I'm like, how the fuck is that a takeover? Like, he comes on the air at 9, cuts a 10-minute promo, and then leaves? That's not a takeover. Like,
the waste of time is what it is. Shit.
It's just, that was how this thing launched. And this thing just keeps going. Going. And it's probably one of the worst angles as far as throwing business down the toilet. And it's because for 6 months, it's just, you still don't even know what the motive is for these guys. For going on for 6 months, you don't know the motive.
Nope.
But Dan, they just book week to week. There's no motive.
And you just feel like Moxley's just booking this, and it's worse than his angle in like 2018, 2019 when he had like the gas mask. Like, this is worse than that. This is worse than that. This is worse than all of that. And that's the stuff that he complains about, because you hear it all the time about him just being like, oh, you know, they made me be a character. They made me do this. And it's just like, oh, they gave you depth and like, they made you interesting.
Like, is your boring ass though?
People actually liked you when you were Dean Ambrose. Like, they thought you were good. Like, and don't get me wrong, Jon Moxley, probably up until 2023, I would say, was probably the MVP for AEW, especially that promo that he cut right after Brawl Out in 2022. That promo that he cut, and he was just like, I'm pissed. And it just, you felt like, that was also a promo that I felt like saved the locker room, because you probably had a locker room at that point, was on the verge of mutiny, because you had two camps now that were just like, what the fuck just happened? And you had to have someone just go out there and just say, we need to get the train back on the tracks. And I think even Cornette kind of had complimented it because
I love Jim Cornette.
Yeah, I love him too. But Cornette and who has been very hard on AEW and also with Moxley, I think it was him and Brian Last even said that promo meant a lot only because of the fact it was just like it was his best work. And it was a promo that felt like that he cared, and you felt like that he wanted to make this whole thing right again. And that's exactly what he needed to do, and that's exactly what happened. And he won the title again a few weeks later, and then he dropped the title again to MJF, which started MJF's rise and ascension. But I feel like that ever since Moxley, after that, he hasn't really evolved. I mean, there was the Blackpool Combat Club.
But I think that is a problem with the entire promotion. Because they did the same thing with MJF, right? Like you just mentioned him, and I think that's a perfect segue right there. He regressed, right? Like they had the double thing with Adam Cole, which was just so dumb. They both go out on injury, comes back, and it's just right back to the ring again. Right back to this feud with Adam Cole, which Adam Cole wasn't even involved in for another month plus.
No.
It just doesn't do anything for your bottom line. It doesn't develop those stars that have been there. Like your MJFs. It's just cool. You're just reverting back to the same thing, and it's not doing anything. There's no evolution.
It's frustrating as a fan.
100%.
It's almost like they're screwing with your intelligence. Like, where's the payoff for, I'll say, 75% of the shit AEW has done?
Well, again, they book week to week, so there is no payoff.
It's so frustrating.
It is.
It's so frustrating because you look at the talent, and it's like I keep having to come on here because I almost feel like I have to defend myself sometimes because I don't want people to think that I'm rooting for the company to fail. The problem is that I need to also be a fair pundit here and not sit here and try to hurt my credibility. I don't think, and not saying that I have credibility, right? But at the same time, I'm trying to establish credibility and also just be fair and honest with you and tell you that if I'm looking at it from an outsider's perspective, I'm looking at their creative. I'm looking at their locker room. I'm looking at morale. I'm looking at guys coming out, and I'm looking at the girls coming out. I'm also looking at the people that are not there. First 4 years of this company, every time they did a show, the building was loud as shit. They were loud. They were engaged. They were loving it. They were eating everything up.
Yep.
The last year or two, this company, half the time that people come out or half the time that someone's cutting a promo and that type of stuff, and I can hear one person in the audience either sneeze or something like that, that's a fucking problem. It's like, I feel like I'm at the opera, and it's just like everybody has to be quiet, and they only can applaud at certain points.
It's like a New Japan show.
It's a morgue. Like, you feel like you're at a morgue. Like, it's just no one there.
Well,
no one there is alive.
That's a good point right there. No one's there, but it's not just the fans. How many people have left over the last 2-3 years? Especially the last year.
Especially now.
Yeah.
I mean, we're looking at they just acquired. They did just get Speedball Mike Bailey, who came out to zero reaction.
Which is a shame. That shit is a shame.
That is a shame because I think he's a great talent. But also, too, I think he's another guy that kind of
he's not a needle mover.
He's a work rate guy. And if you're a work rate guy, the first place you're going to go to is AEW because you think, well, I'll be able to work with all these guys. And it's just like, but you're not thinking. Months, maybe. Yeah, exactly. Because he books like a toy collector. Like, oh, the new series is out. Who's in this one? You know, like, it's just.
I love how you say that shit with toys behind you, by the way.
Hey, look, I'm a toy collector.
I know,
I'm not
man.
book like that.
I know. I just think it's funny. That's all.
Like, it's just, and people know my collections. I've tried to share stuff here on this program, but it's one of those deals that I look at him and I'm just like, bro, you have all this money. I sound like Russo. What the fuck's wrong with me?
Bro.
Bro. But I look at this guy who has all this money, and I think that his heart is in the right place. I really do.
Yeah.
I think he wants to make a difference in the wrestling business.
The thing is, man, he books for himself. And
That's it. He's
evident.
Vince.
He is.
He's Vince Jr. It's just, actually, I'm Junior. Shut up. I'm just saying. It's like, I'm Junior technically. I understand. Again, the inner voice just comes out every so often. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. I'm still in your head. I'm not leaving. I know.
Wait. Did you just play Patrick Starr sound bit?
No, it's Homer Simpson.
That's Homer.
Oh, is that Homer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hold on. I'll get it again. Just hear it again.
Our soundboard is ever expanding every week.
I love it.
Which I love it too, because it's just like I feel like we're doing morning zoo radio.
Because I'm not booked.
Live here on WNBC. We wouldn't be so bad if we weren't so good. WNBC. Little Private Parts reference, folks.
Yep.
Don Imus was the biggest star in radio. Howard Stern's outside my fucking dressing room. Tell me you've seen that movie, Gold Standard.
What movie is it?
Private Parts. It's the Howard Stern autobiography.
Nope.
It's fucking fantastic. One of the biggest, I think it's one of the biggest influences of why I wanted to get into broadcasting. I'm just like, I want to be this dude. I don't get it. Like, I just, for some reason, I want to do that.
I mean, I don't remember, what year was that? 98?
97, 98. So, yeah.
So he was like, two.
Yeah. God. Imagine me 2 years old watching a Howard Stern documentary.
Oh no!
It's so great though. It's so fun.
I would say it's more like mockumentary where there is some biography to it, right? But it's his telling of his life. And let me just tell you, man, I don't know if you've ever listened to Howard Stern at all, especially
a little bit, yeah.
From back then, though, he did some shit, man. Like, I will just say. It's not a family movie, to say the least. Just not. It is not. But as an older adult, check it out.
It's a masterpiece. I'm sorry. It's just and the best part about it is that like when they get to the college scenes and all of a sudden it just goes from the little geeky kid and all of a sudden it's Howard Stern as Howard Stern. It's great because he's just in there and it's just like I'll play myself. Ooh, like
oh god, the movie is hilarious.
Robin, I'm going to be in Private Parts, you see, and it's going to be me.
Myself.
I'm going to play myself. Ooh, like
oh my god.
Tell him, Fred. Jackie the Joke Man will be at Governor's of Long Island this weekend. Make sure to check him out. Ain't that right, Jackie?
I guess we should talk a little bit about the build to WrestleMania outside of that stuff, though. I want to go back to Cena, ironically enough. There was an article this week.
Bringing up Cena again. What the fuck?
I know. But I think it's worth it because Cena will be on TV next week, apparently on Raw, for a early episode of Raw for the next couple of weeks while they're in the European tour. But King MDM posted earlier that he wonders if they will hold Cena back from obliterating Cody on the mic, apparently.
I hope to God they don't. Cody needs humbled.
Yeah, I thought this was funny. You know, he goes on to say, as a face, Cena buried a lot of people this way on the mic. Even when he lost matches, he'd still destroy people on the mic. And I just, dude, I don't care. Like, I just don't care. Like, Cody can destroy people on the mic too. You know, kind of like this.
Hey, Rock! Go fuck yourself!
So true.
I thought this was a funny article.
They got to make a shirt of that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, they do.
They should.
That shirt will sell bajillions.
I still have to find that crowd booing shirt. I need to find that. I want to buy that. I need that.
That might outsell Austin 316.
Yeah, like
It might like and just have a portrait of Cody on there. Like, it's just with the championship. It's just like, yeah, that's what I want. And I'll buy it. I'll make it my fucking Christmas card. I'll wear the damn thing for like my turtle soul.
oh my goodness. More WrestleMania stuff is Roman Reigns attacking Seth Rollins and CM Punk on Raw this past week.
That match is going to be fire. If it's a triple threat, it's going to be probably match of the night. Whatever night
Opie was saying that, you know, Roman made this feud all the more special. Dude, this was special from the Rumble on. You didn't need Roman to come back at all to make this special. I'm glad he's back, obviously, but I just didn't need anything else special. And I love the guy in the background that's like trying to touch Roman's hand or whatever.
Probably one of the loudest reactions at Madison Square Garden that I've ever heard for talent.
So I know he was coming because the crowd reacted before he was on camera. Which I thought was
but the whole
funny.
building is chanting OTC. It's like, oh, by the way, I need to acknowledge.
There's that
There
order
you
we
go.
were talking about.
I need to acknowledge today. I love how I love how you sent the video of the guy doing the acknowledgement with Mickey Mouse. I'm like, well, I guess I know what I'm doing when I do this year.
Oh man. Yeah, so there's this video out there with Roman Reigns' music.
I'm gonna wear the OTC shirt without question.
He's got a Roman Reigns shirt on. He's hanging out with Mickey Mouse, and he puts his one up, and he gets Mickey to do it too.
I support that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah, Dan is going to Disney in October, so I sent him that, and I sent it to his fiancée as well, and I said, "Sorry, Stephanie."
Yeah, she knows.
Oh, I knew. As soon as I sent it, I knew.
She is going to be. There were certain points that week she is just going to be like I definitely when we go to Star Wars part and I'm like geeking out, building a lightsaber and stuff like that. She's just going to be like, "Are you kidding me right now with this?" But yeah,
yeah. Yeah, I got nothing.
Yeah, did you know also that the nice little stat that I've heard also this weekend that like, again, because we're in such a nerd culture sometimes with this, all three members of the Shield hit the stump in 24 hours.
Yep.
Nice little record that happened. Moxley hit it on the pay-per-view, and then Seth hit it on Raw, and then Roman
hit it on Raw.
Yep. So nice little statistic that happened there. It's kind of like
a little tidbit.
It's like a nice little Easter egg you could throw in there. It's just like, yeah, it's a nice little record that they could put now in like some YouTube video that Cultaholic will talk about. Like top 10 Easter eggs from a
God.
Are you into those videos just as much as I am? Sometimes you just put it on. You're just like, what are they going to? All right, where do they rank this? Okay.
Yeah, WrestleMania. I watch them a lot too.
Yes, I don't. I don't get angry by a lot of them because some of them
No.
are spot on, and then some of them I'm just like, why the fuck are you mentioning that?
Yeah. And they always come up with like the most obscure like lists, and I'm like, okay, I have to watch this now. That's how they hook people.
They do. And then they get you to like, and then all of a sudden the next one, you're just stuck in a wormhole where you're just watching like 50 of them in a row. I do like their documentaries though, that they have done. Like they did one on the, what's funny is that for the show we were doing, at one point, we decided to have my fiance really likes true crime and stuff like that. So what we did is I got her to watch the first season of Dark Side of the Ring.
Oh my god!
So the Montreal Screwjob
so
episode, she got to, and she's like, wait a minute, this all happened, and she's like, I need to know more. So instead of putting on something WWE produced, because WWE is, again, because we talked about the top 30 earlier, they're going to give their side of things.
Yeah.
The Cultaholic documentary, which kind of goes through every little tidbit and detail, is probably the most comprehensive timeline for the Montreal Screwjob and the events leading up to it and after of any entity on YouTube. Because everything I've kind of fact checked, because we shit on Meltzer now, but Meltzer probably also has the best document of that entire thing and that entire incident. He has everything timelined out perfectly. Everything's reported, is on point, because he sat with Brett in complete detail, and Brett was able to give his complete side of everything that happened. And which I 100% believe Brett and the timeline of his events. He didn't refute anything. I think because he even said, he's just like, well, it should end you heard him on tape say, yeah, it should end this way. Pretty much saying, yeah, I don't want to lose Montreal. Like, I just want to get through today. And Vince is just like, that doesn't work for me, pal.
I can't lose in Canada. I'm not going to lose in Canada, Vince.
Yes. And Vince is just like, yeah. Yeah, we'll figure that out. Yeah. Well, we'll get there. Yeah. We'll do it wherever you want. Yeah. Ring the fucking bell. Yeah. But she watched the documentary, and so was able to get a complete understanding of everything. And she's just like, this business is fucked up.
It's like, you have no idea what you're getting into.
I'm like, honey, you have no idea.
Yeah, you have not seen shit.
I'm like, the wormholes you have now going to enter because of this industry. Because it's not. What's funny is with this whole thing sometimes is that a lot of the off-camera stuff is such more fascinating than some of the stuff that happens on screen. Even though I do like the on-screen stuff when they do get chippy with each other, and you can just tell that they're being chippy with each other. Even though there's certain guys like CM Punk, you don't know if he's towing the line now, because I honestly think he doesn't go into business for himself anymore, at least in WWE. In AEW, he did it in clear present day. If you didn't watch that press conference, that was literally someone going into business for themselves.
I think that he did after that first backstage conference when he's talking about the Bucks. I don't think that's him going to business for himself. I think everything after that, though, yeah, 100% he was. Especially at the end, he was done. He was fucking done.
I can't. I still. You're just watching it. You're just watching it, right? And you're just seeing. You're looking to the right of him, and it's the fucking owner of the company. He's not doing anything. He's just sitting there, and you're like, "Well, do something."
He chose to put on this like like I don't know, like surprised face. It's like really? Like
poke him with a stick or something.
yeah,
Damn.
it's like how is this surprising you? Like, dude, did you not know what you signed up for when you hired him?
Stop this. Stop this now. Me yelling. It's just I'm if you ever saw Forrest Gump when he's given the the speech at the Lincoln Memorial, and the guy goes over and takes all the cables out. And that's what I have to say about Vietnam. And it's just, you don't hear any of it. And that's pretty much how that's pretty much how that should have went. That should have, somebody should have just went over and just like, just started pulling cables. It's just, that company hasn't been the same since. It's like that literally took that whole incident just took something away that they haven't been able to recapture. People just sat there. They're just like, oh
you know what should have happened? You know what?
The new one, I guess.
I pressed the wrong button. I'm so sorry, bitch.
That's what should have happened.
It's so true.
I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry.
Bitch.
It's just, but I'm just sitting there and I'm like, you gotta be kidding. Just pull the cord or something. What are you doing?
Yeah. Throw the damn towel in, like it's like Rocky.
Oh boy. But it's interesting now because it's just, he's gonna be in his first WrestleMania in 12 years. And he's gonna be in there against two of the biggest stars in the company in the last decade. Especially, I mean, Roman, who has excelled where Prophet, do you put gold standard for that matter? It's Prophet.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, we're not. No, we're not doing that.
It's like you're almost like a prophet. Some of the takes I'm just like tonight, I'm like, yeah, this guy is exactly fall in line with us. It's like he can come on whenever he wants.
Yeah, I'll be on again.
Yeah, no, I'm like, because there was concern coming in. I'm just like, because you don't know, because sometimes you have a person, especially me, I have a personality. I'm just like,
No, hold on. The conversation that you and I had did not go that way. The conversation was more, I think I was the one that more said anything, and I was just like, as long as it's not Proud Smark, I'm fine.
Or like Pete. Or like slap
Peculiar
my ass.
Pete, yeah. Oh my
Peculiar
god.
Pete.
Like, dude,
He's
no,
another
I'm
one.
not slapping your ass. No matter how much you pay me, I'm not slapping your ass, Pete.
We'll have to, hey, but everybody has an invitation. Let's just say that.
It's not Proud Smark, Peculiar Pete.
They have to understand if they want to come onto this program though, that that they are open for ridicule and abuse.
Yeah, like I don't think we've ever shit on any of your posts. I don't think we have.
Not, no.
Peculiar Pete, Prophet,
Yeah,
maybe not so much.
Proud Smark all the time.
Yeah.
Proud Smark, it's just like,
I think it's hilarious, though. I'm sorry to cut it, but I think it's hilarious when you go on some of these other sites, especially on Facebook, where you kind of see them stealing the posts a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Like, I know some people follow the fake Samantha Irving page. I'll occasionally see some posts from the website on that. Same thing with like the CM Punk fake page. I'll see them there too. But the funniest for me is when I see like the Prophet being one of them, Proud Smart being one of them, show up on like cringe wrestling stuff. And
or like Coulter Cornette.
Coulter Cornette,
Cornette.
Like, but that's not as bad. But when it's cringe wrestling stuff to me, that's when it's just like, all right, you might need to stop. The other one is AEW fans say what?
Oh, that one. That's another one too.
Somebody ended up on that the other day, and I didn't even say anything. I just started laughing. I'm like, of all the places to be highlighted, those two for me, cringe wrestling stuff and AEW fans say what, are probably the two that I would not want to appear on the most.
Yeah, absolutely not.
Yeah.
No, the AEW one especially, because it's just like, yeah, because that's an AEW hatred page. They don't want to hear anything positive. They just want to hear the company is dying. Like,
I mean, it's not even that. It's, you know, I could play it again with the Cody, but I'm not going to. But it's like, just remove your face and your head from inside Tony's pants. Like, some of these posts, that's what I want to say to you guys. Not you, obviously, because you are definitely not like that. But there are others that are writing that I'm just like, guys, please remove your head and face from Tony's shorts. Just, you do not need to eat them. Just please back up.
It's the fact that people thought, like, and he had that kind of, he has that persona about him of someone that's like an everyday, like, wrestling fan. Like, we all think that we're Tony, and it's like,
wrestling needs cheerleaders too. I get it.
Yeah.
But, you know, that doesn't mean you need to wear.
Everybody wants to be the cool kid, and they feel like AEW is for the cool kids, and it's like, well, it was, but it's not now. I mean, it's just
and it
all the cool kids went back to WWE.
Yeah, it sucks. They have the talent, and even objectively now, they still do. But you're losing talent now, like you said, with the guys going back to, you know, WWE or jumping ship to WWE. You know, Penta being one of them.
Malachi Black's supposed to be back soon.
Yep.
Oh, and I've heard the Rusev and Lana rumors too, especially today, and especially with what has been reported by TMZ that Lana and Rusev had renewed their wedding vows.
Heard that too. Yeah.
Good for them.
So
good for them.
Yes, they're good for them.
I heard they did it on Rusev Day, no less.
Yes, no less on Rusev Day, which also makes me think that they're getting back together, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, he's a free agent now. Where could they be going back to? Are we going to see Lana get put through a table for 10 weeks in a row by Nia Jax? That was so great. That was one of my favorite parts doing that era too. Just for like for 3 months straight, every Monday night, it was just like Nia Jax could put Lana through. Yeah, she did it. It was a great like running gag that they did every single week, and I'd look forward to it. It's like, did Lana go through a table tonight? Yeah, she did. All right, business as usual.
It's like that Family Guy bit where Peter says, "Oh, he said it. He said it."
Yeah. It was the gag of Cleveland with the bathtub. Like, he just kept falling out of the bathroom.
No.
Yes. That was Lana every week against Nia Jax. No. Ah, damn it, through a table again.
She did it. She did the thing.
Seriously, guys, it's been a pleasure being on here, really. It's been so much fun.
Oh, great. No, I'm glad that you came on. You're kind of like the test bunny, because I got somebody else in my inbox this week that's like, I want to come on the show. And I'm like, let's see how this week goes. Okay. I'm not telling no to anybody. I'm just like, I just need to know where we're at. Like, and if this is gonna, because you sometimes you have somebody out here and they're just like, so what do you think? And they're just like, oh, you know.
Yeah, really.
I've done enough interviews where you're just like, really?
Well, unfortunately for me, I always have something to say. I always have something to say about something.
That's fine. Like, hey, look, because I like, sometimes you just need somebody to be able to talk wrestling with that just you feel sane.
Yeah.
Because sometimes talking to Boomerang, I'm just like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
Like, you just sit there and you're like, I love you. What are you thinking? Like, why? I don't even want to talk about this. Like, I just don't want to talk about this. Why are you bringing this up? I don't want to talk about it. You've given this more thought than I have from millisecond. Like, I didn't even think this is a possibility. And now all of a sudden, it's like, you want to have a 20-minute conversation about this. It's like, I have no idea what you're talking about. Why? Why are we having this discussion? And Mac's silent right now
because you know what? Because I'm trying to remember what he said the other day. So I'm actually sifting through the chat right now. That's why I'm silent. Because he said something the other day, man, and I was like, "What? Like what?"
It's like, what are you talking about? Do you have that friend standard of just like, do you have that friend where you're just like, why are we even talking about this right now?
Yeah.
What is the most cockamamie or like just brain dead stories or thoughts that someone that you've heard have about pro wrestling? Like any company, anything, any time in your life that you remember, you were just like, I feel like I lost brain cells having this conversation.
God, that's a good question. Honestly, I see shit daily where it's like, where did you even come up with this?
Oh, it's true.
Like, I scroll through our page and I'm like, holy shit.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Like, listen, I've been known to put some shit out there, but some of the stuff I see, I'm like, whoa.
But here's the thing, man. Like, I will say this, and I meant what I said before. Like, we typically do not shit on your posts. Like,
no.
I think the first time I read #gold standard, I was like, holy shit, this is the gold standard for what they should be posting. And I remember I said that to Dan too, and I said it on the show because it was so true. And then a post before that, or a post after that, or whatever, it's like Peculiar Pete or The Prophet or Proud Smark, just like, what the fuck are you talking about? And
yeah,
it's just, you're so right. Like, some of the posts by some of the other writers, it's like, dude, like, back up. like stop
like,
for
pump
a
the
second.
brakes a bit.
Yeah. Like,
but don't get me wrong,
who hurt
you
know?
Yeah, like we all do bust our ass for this page, and they're like, it's a team effort. Like, we've all gotten it to where it's at, where it's going to go, where it's been. You know what I mean? So I can't really hate on anybody, but what I can say is I have read some shit.
Yeah, it's I
some shit, man.
Yeah.
There's some days I'm just like reading something, I'm just like, I don't think I could smoke enough weed in the day to come up with something like this. It's just, and I'm not shitting on anybody either, because I have to look at this page and think to myself that yes, everybody does work hard.
Yeah.
Everybody on the page works hard, and we're trying to just work hard as they are with the show. Because, we want the page to grow because we want us to grow. That's the way it is.
Yeah.
It's like it's a hand-in-hand thing. And I want the writers to also think that it's just this is an open forum and they can come on here whenever they want. And it's just, if they want to, of course, it's like an open door policy. It's like, I'm not going to force anybody that wants to come on. That, of course, I might get a little picky and choosy depending on with some of them. If it's just like, if they come on and they're just like, good to be here. And then that's the only time I hear from them. And I feel like I'm talking to Fez Watley. But, but it's I think that, but I look at this and I think to myself, it's like, this can be something now where it's like, all right, you guys can come on and we can have fun discussion and we can crap on the Prophet and some of these other people that just all of a sudden Proud Smart comes on. I'm just like, shit. God, really nice of this fucking guy. Great.
Well, it's funny, like, watch him come on. And
or Florida Man.
Oh my God, Florida Man. I forgot about him, dude. It's funny though, like, you think Florida about this shit, man, and you're like, they'll probably end up coming on and just being just as chill as Gold Standard is.
Yeah, I know.
And they're like shitting on AEW when they're here, but then they go back to the post and they shit back on us and back on WWE. Like, fuck.
All of a sudden, they're good to us to like in front of the camera, and then all of a sudden, they just start shitting on us in a post.
Yeah, exactly.
We're just like, what the fuck? I thought we were cool. Like, now we got to respond. I think
it'll just be like that fucking movie. I forget the name of it at this point, but fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. You're cool. Fuck you. I'm out. Yes. Yeah, half-baked.
How this would go if someone would if I brought a writer on here and all of a sudden they just decide, I'm just going to bury those guys, then it's going to turn into, all right, well, I'm going to have to write a parody song or something that just shits on you then, because that's the only way I'm going to win this thing. Because I feel like that's the only way I'll be like able to do something to just combat this. Because when you're writing it, it's just like, oh, great. Now they're going to wait a week for me to respond. Great.
No. That shit will be a special episode.
Oh, yeah. We just all of a sudden we're like, oh, it's a random Monday. They want to take a shit on us. All right.
No, if you guys ever need a guest again, I'm 100% down. Like, this has been a blast.
Yes. No, this has been a lot of fun. We usually have a lot of fun on here because we try to make it lighthearted because we're talking about something that is, because there's so many podcasts now. Like, if you watch, and I've started to really like them, and before I couldn't stand them, but I've also kind of I've become sympathetic with a lot of these wrestling podcasters and video YouTubers, because I'm sympathetic because I have to realize, because I wasn't doing this I've been doing this the last 3 years or so when business has somewhat improved, but or really improved, not just somewhat improved. But I could understand some of those people watching like Monday Night Raw every week and having to review it in like 2019. And just, that's why they were such AEW fans when it first started, because wow, how could you not be, considering you're watching Raw every week and you watch AEW and it's just like you're literally going from the Wizard of Oz and the black and white to then all of a sudden everything is bright in color with AEW, and you're just like, I understand why they got on that train. But I love watching people like JD from New York. He's a trip now. I love it.
Though.
I love it. And it's just, I've become such a fan of him now because he's so miserable. And it's just, I have never seen somebody so violent about just a wrestling company just tanking. Like, he's on the verge of like a mental breakdown. But I just sympathize because I'm just like, I understand. Like, you hitched your wagon to a company that you really liked, and you really felt was like really cared about the fans, where now you're just like, no, just another billionaire wanting a book for himself. Like, nothing's changed. And meanwhile, Triple H is just like, it's all right. Come on over. Yeah, well, we can talk. It's fine. I promise you, I won't hurt you. I won't. Like, things are different now. I still am. Yeah, this is the third WrestleMania now in a row. Well, fourth, because I gotta go with the fact that I thought WrestleMania 38 was really well put together, especially with Cody returning, and then
Yeah, that was really well put
Steve
together.
Austin and his return. But now this is the fourth consecutive WrestleMania that I'm actually really excited for.
Yeah, 100%.
Which to me is just fantastic, because it's nice to just be able to be like a wrestling fan and just be able to enjoy it and not have to worry about, yeah, there's going to be a couple of things that might be a little questionable, but I don't think it's going to be like
Life altering.
It's not going to be like life altering, or where I'm sitting there and questioning my fandom, where for a couple of years there, it was just like, you're just questioning things every 3 months, because you're just like, I don't know if I can keep going. And then something would happen that would be like, okay, there's hope. And then something terrible would happen again. And then things would be terrible for 3 more months. And you're thinking, all right, I'm going to give it 3 more months. And then you just repeat the cycle over and over again. That's how bad things were.
Keeps pulling me back in.
It's just every time. Every time you're just like, that's it, I'm done. And then they do something, you're like, oh. Like, it's just so many times. I mean, 2019, though, I was close. I think after that Hell in a Cell match, too, with Rollins and Bray Wyatt, I was just like,
R.I.P. Bray Wyatt.
Yeah. But that Hell in a Cell match with Seth, with that, I'm going to hit him with a chair after, like, or I'm going to hit him with like a mallet after he's like covered a bunch of chairs, and I'm going to get DQ, or there's going to be a DQ finish. What?
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's a Hell in a Cell match.
That's like peak bullshit booking.
Oh, peak bullshit booking was booking him to lose to freaking Goldberg.
Well, that too, but
that's
a different kind of bullshit.
That was the unofficial start of the pandemic. Like, yeah. Ever since then, shit hasn't been right. It just hasn't. Like, everything changed after that day. Like, they should put that in the documentary. It's just like, the pandemic started. No, the pandemic started when Goldberg defeated Bray Wyatt in Saudi Arabia. Then things went horribly wrong. That'll be the prologue. And then after that, it's just like, Dr. Fauci. You're like, just like little things in the first chapter. Chapter 1, Wuhan lab. Just what? Okay. Yeah, but you feel like going back and looking at it with that match and that moment, you think to yourself that kind of started the death of civilization as we know it. It really was that bad. Yes, it was.
Yeah, it was that bad.
You don't understand. Like, he had no business in that match in the first place. Why is he beating him? Yeah, and at least though 8 months later, well, not even, like 6 months later, we had the beginning of the Tribal Chief era. So that was
which really saved WWE, honestly.
It really did. I mean, if that didn't happen, we would be in a much different place with this industry.
Yeah.
And I feel like that I look at John Cena's era and I look at John and I think of, he chased away more people than I think brought in. And I look at Roman Reigns and I just think to myself, he brought all the people back and then some.
Well,
yep.
I think with Cena, it was, the PG era. They were trying to bring in the younger fans. And that chased a lot of those diehards, myself included, away. And then bring in Roman Reigns, the tribal chief, and it brings those diehards back. And you still have the younger fan base, anyways, that made the gains, right? And a lot of them, even the younger fans, as a heel, they still have Roman Reigns.
Oh, so that's the best part about it is the fact that Roman is cheered as a heel, and now it's just he's crossed that territory of he's still Go ahead, sorry.
He's kind of like over. I don't want to say overstepped, but he's like transcended.
Yeah.
Past like superstar status. He's like
God
I don't
status.
want to say he's like I don't want to say he's like Stone Cold, The Rock status, but he's like right there on that cusp.
He is slowly crept into my like top 10 favorites all time.
Same.
Yeah.
Which is a
insane
bold statement. Considering 6 years ago, he was fighting with Baron Corbin over dog food.
The big dog in the yard.
Oh, God. It's the big dog!
I think it's hilarious
Awful
that he has
shit.
now disowned that. The way. It's like, nope, didn't happen. Nope.
It's like he just sat there and he's just like, no, I will not answer to that name. It's like, okay, I understand. Which I guess he won't, because it's a Vince thing, which you got to admit, Vince was right about Roman being the next top star. It's just he packaged him completely fucking terribly.
100%.
Yeah.
Like, it's just completely wrong. It's like, no, you have to package him in something that's going to be like, you can't go from one like white meat baby face to another. You can't do it. It's not going to work. And people are tired of the same thing. You can't make John Cena 2.0. You have to make a Roman Reigns. You have to let Roman be Roman. And I think that they finally figured it out. And that was more, I think, thanks to Paul Heyman, because I think Vince just stepped out of it and just said, all right, you and Paul do it.
Bring me money, goddammit.
Well, I think Roman already said, he's just like, if I can't do this, I'm done.
Yeah.
And he was right. I think it earned that right too, to be like, hey, fuck you. I'm not. If we're not going to do it my way, we're not doing it at all.
Right.
Yeah.
And when you're put in that position, and that's where I think, that's why I put him ahead of Cena, because he pretty much had the balls to himself to say, I'm going to put this direction in my way. Like, if it fails, it fails. It's not going to fail, but if it fails, it fails.
It does.
Yeah. He knew it wasn't going to fail. I think everybody else did. Paul knew it wasn't going to fail. And Vince had to do something, because he's just looking at his TV ratings. He's just like, well, fuck it. I'll just put it. What am I going to do? Like,
it was the right move.
It was the absolute right move. And
I don't think Paul Heyman gets enough credit for the work he's done for the business. Because
I've been singing his praises. I've been singing his praises for 30 years.
Yeah, dude's phenomenal what he does. Every ounce, every just little itsy bitsy tiny little detail, he turns chicken shit into chicken salad.
I got an ECW tattoo on my arm for a reason.
Nice.
Because of the fact that his booking and his mindset. If ECW was still in business in 2001, if it was still in business by the time I got out of high school, I probably would have said screw it and went to work for Paul. Because I believed in the product that much. I believed in the company that much. I believed in him that much. I believed in that philosophy of just like, we can make this thing happen and get this thing to where it needs to be. He was kind of right, though, when he says that, though, that the landscape was changing, that he knew kind of that philosophy and that mindset for that company probably wasn't going to be able to be in the mainstream that much longer, because you had an administration at that point that was coming in that was going to be kind of booking a hard line of more of a conservatism, Christian conservatism, and things like that, which
Yeah.
a lot of things started to become more politically correct. And then 3 years later, the whole Janet Jackson at the Super Bowl halftime special incident, which really kind of got censorship up people's asses. Within 3 years, Vince is having to, within 4 years, Vince is having to go PG and be like, no blood, no swearing. It's like, oh God, just take the whole balls of the company. Why don't you?
Yeah, really. Put him back in Linda's purse.
I mean, and then of course CM Punk comes in and tries to be like, I'm going to be the fly of the ointment on this. Yeah. I think we're going to wrap up.
Okay.
It is because we're all kind of feel like we have given enough. And plus, I don't want to keep you on too long because I understand people have lives. Wives, girlfriends, boyfriend, whoever. So I think that so we're all kind of wrapping things up and trying to be going out before 11 o'clock tonight, even 10:30 at this point. My God, because we've been able to come on here and just go long. But then there are times, especially with daylight savings week, kind of want to have it early.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I keep muting because I keep yawning.
I know.
Straight up.
This week has kicked my ass.
Same here. Luckily, tomorrow is my work from home day, so I don't have to get up that early. But it's still like, it's just this week is a drag.
Yeah, it is.
And it is nice, though,
Tomorrow
to
is
be...
my Friday, though, so.
Well, I think it's everybody's Friday.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I mean, like, well, I work every other weekend is what I mean.
Oh, okay.
I gotcha.
So, like, I have this weekend off.
Yes, I gotcha. That's good. Just tomorrow's my Friday. It's like, well, I mean,
Tomorrow's
No
Friday.
shit.
yeah. And, I mean, I'm looking at the days again. I'm like, yeah, okay, all right. It's Friday. Like, my brain just.
All right, guys. Thank you for having me on. It was so much fun.
Oh man, it's great having
Yes,
you.
no, it was great to have you on Gold Standard. And anytime you want to come back on, just we'll figure something out. Maybe after WrestleMania we can have you on and we can kind of like all sit here and just be like, what the fuck just happened? Why is John Cena champion again?
I mean, what the fuck is that? Like, what
I'm
is that?
down. Y'all just let me know.
Sounds good, man.
Absolutely.
All right. Talk to y'all later.
Talk to you later. Thanks again for coming on. And
Absolutely.
everybody, thank you again for listening to us here on Spotify, on YouTube, on a under the Diamond Podcasting Productions channel. Of course, now we are on Audacity, we are on Spotify, we are on Apple Podcasts. You name it, pretty much we're on it right now, and numbers are going up. Yes, people are listening, people are caring, and people are enjoying what they're hearing, which I'm still trying to figure out. They like hearing me ramble sometimes about just those random Red Sox stories. Oh, they're great. I love this.
Such good shit, pal.
That's good shit, pal. But thanks again for coming on Gold Standard, and thank you again for listening to everybody. And we'll see you all next time. Bye.
Bye.
Toodles.